before the next round.
Dan Antoni Sports does not condone the request for players to die. Thank you.
Figuratively die.
Be exhausted.
Yeah, we just want you to
so exhausted that they
screw up.
Die.
The views expressed in this podcast are not necessarily those of the podcast. Viewer discretion advised. Anyways.
Quotations, the podcast.
Yes. Then we had the Stars and the Predators. I did not get to watch most of the game, unfortunately, because my fat ass was falling asleep on the couch. So I'm like, well, that's a sign I got to go to bed. I'm not able to stay up. When I went to bed, it was literally like a minute before the Stars scored their first goal. And then they just kept coming. Stars went up 3-1. And one of my favorite players, actually, as I had said, we're going to go back for a second before my favorite player thing. Zuccarello scored us a goal, put us up 3-1. And then one of my favorite players in the NHL scored the next goal for the Predators. And that is, I think one of everyone's favorite players, PK Subban. Everyone likes him, right?
Yeah, he's great.
It's a good guy.
Yeah. So
good dude.
Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like both of these teams. It's going to be fun. The thing I love about it is, with the exception of maybe Tampa this year, anyone can go forward in the playoffs. It's like I greatly enjoyed the NBA, but the past decade at this point, it's been somewhat predictable as to who is going to go to the finals, if not who wins it necessarily, although that's been predictable in the past couple of years with the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, you've had LeBron for 8 straight years.
Right. The NHL is anybody's game. Any one of these teams could make a run and get it together, excepting, maybe one or two at the very bottom. But even then,
even at the bottom, the Stars are one of the wild cards. I could see the Stars doing damage.
Yeah, the NHL is just like, there's so much more parity. That's why NHL playoffs are honestly like my favorite playoffs, I think. Even though the Rangers haven't been in it in a few years, like, I'm going to be watching as much as I can.
It's still got to be football for me. But I just like the idea of, well, you've got one game to get your shit together, and if you don't, you're done.
True. Yeah, I do love football. I just hate how delayed football is. It takes effort to get to, the next game, whereas NHL and NBA, there's a whole lot of games to watch.
Yeah, no, I don't like having to wait a week. Like, for those of you listening, I don't know if you could have guessed, but I like podcasts. The problem I have with podcasts is that I binge them at work, and so now I'm all caught up on 3 different podcasts I've been listening to, and I don't want to wait for their episodes to come out. Like, just give me more. Hysteria 51.
You need to get a job where you're at. So I want to do that same thing.
Okay, yeah, there are a lot of jobs.
Podcast planning and whatnot.
Yeah. I also got in some good music listening today. For the first time in a while. Listened to probably about 40 Godsmack songs, so that was cool.
Excellent.
Anyways, back to hockey. Stars win 3-2. It's an upset. Like I said, Stars were one of the 2 wildcard teams. I don't think the Predators are much better than the Stars. I mean, in the West, I mean, outside of, Calgary, I think, and the Sharks, it's pretty even keel, right? I mean, you got Nashville 47 wins, Winnipeg 47 wins, St. Louis 45, Dallas 43. Although you get to Colorado and They're at 38 wins, but
I don't really see Colorado making noise. Dallas, I actually do think could easily take it to Nashville. Not easily, but could actually win this round, and then who knows after that?
Well,
because there's such
they got home ice advantage right now.
Yeah, and your young kids are really stepping up. Your first line is a nightmare matchup for Nashville, and then you got Zoot coming in and just dancing around motherfuckers, and it's they've got a great team too, but it's a quick young team, and they don't necessarily match perfectly to that. So I think it's a great series.
And what did you say about Virginia and Texas Tech?
Defense wins championships.
And whoever comes out of this, there's going to be a team breathing a huge sigh of relief that they don't have to worry about the other team's defense.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you watched much of the Stars game last night. It was on USA.
A little bit of catching up to do.
Yeah. Both teams' defense are just so... I don't even think good is a good enough word. I wouldn't necessarily say great, but athletic, definitely.
Elite.
I don't... They're good enough to where they make a big difference. Mm-hmm. And Ben Bishop, for as much shit as I gave him early in the season, he's played pretty well. He's 9-1 in his last 10? Is it now 9-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just
everything's coming together for Dallas at the exact time you want it to. Really.
It's because of the Zuccarello trade. Those 2 games before the playoffs really made a difference.
They did. He came back, and he came back strong.
He sure did. We haven't been saying who we think's going to win each series.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so let's go back and quickly do that. The Blue Jackets Lightning. I think the Lightning's going to win.
Yep.
Islanders Penguins.
Penguins.
I think the Islanders are going to win it. I listened to Humpty, Canny, and Rothenberg, and as much as I don't like them, Rick DiPietro's got me sold on the Islanders as being a legit threat.
The Mets of hockey.
Islanders had more points, but to me, again, experience is such a factor here. I'm gonna say the Penguins because the Islanders are
new to this.
Are prove it to me team. Prove it to me that you belong in the playoffs, that you belong to make it past the first round. So
they're kind of like the Nets.
They won one game, but it was it's at home and in overtime. So let's see. The Penguins can easily rebound. They've been there a bunch of times. So I'm saying Penguins until I get proved wrong.
Okay. Plus, it's played at Nassau Coliseum, like the most inhospitable place to play. That place is a shithole.
Yeah, too bad for them that they didn't get the upgrades.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know why they're at the Coliseum, because their home ice is in Barclays.
Nobody knows.
Doesn't make sense. Stars Predators. Like I said, Stars with a 1-0 lead in the series. You guys know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think we do.
The Stars are going to win the series.
I'd like to see it. Go Stars.
I want the Stars to. My gut says Nashville, but I'm going to root for the Stars.
Thank you.
All right.
Next, Blues Jets.
This I think might be one of my favorite matchups. I think they're super evenly matched. This is another one. Winnipeg is the higher seed. It was an upset win last night for St. Louis.
St. Louis just looks scrappy though.
They really do, and the city is really behind them after the whole Rams thing. They've hopped onto Blues, and it's it's a great matchup. I'm gonna go with the Winnipeg Jets just because they're the Jets.
When you're a Jet all the way.
That's right. I think this is a 7-game series for sure.
All right.
Ooh, that was a dirty hit.
Don't
oh my God,
Don't
he should
spoil
be suspended.
On the flashback?
Are you talking about the Dunkin' Donuts ad?
Was that how long ago was that? I'm not listening with volume, so
It was 2018. It said, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
right to the head. Damn.
Yeah, that was Kadri, wasn't it? I remember the controversy around that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going Winnipeg.
I know I haven't watched much St. Louis Blues hockey because I'm in the New York market and I don't get to watch much hockey that isn't Islanders, Devils, Rangers, Bruins.
Give me the Blues of St. Louis in that series.
But what I saw from, what I had seen, because I didn't watch this game, what I had seen from the Blues, watching the research I did today, the Blues looked fucking unhinged, I think is probably the best. Like, they look like they're like, so what if you beat us? Fuck it. Like, they seemed like they had the ultimate fuck it attitude. Like, fuck it. Let's go. And I loved it. So, St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to win. And then, probably the most painful goal I've ever seen. Most ridiculous that I've ever seen. Sharks, Golden Knights. Sharks shit on them 5-2. My boy, Erik Karlsson, stepping up big with 2 assists. First goal scored. Did you see the goals from this game, Dan or Dan?
No.
No, I missed this one, unfortunately.
All right, so
I'm going to watch highlights later.
First goal of the game, I'm going to ruin this for you right now. Joe Pavelski takes the puck off the chin into the goal. Right off the chin and in for a goal.
Shot or wrister?
That might have topped the fly ball off the Jacob's head.
Oh. It was a wrist shot.
Okay.
Hit him.
Broken a tooth, but...
Oh, yeah, he lost 2 teeth. Yeah. He lost 2 teeth.
Ouch.
Oh.
A slap shot would have broken his jaw, so... small blessings, silver linings.
I'm showing it to Dan Beebe right now. Oh, it's crazy. Right off his face, boom, and in.
Oh.
They're going to get a better shot right here.
I was going to say, yeah.
Get him right in the chin, boom, into the back of the net.
Sucks to be him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that opened up scoring. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyways, so he got the 3 stars for his 1 goal. And then it just
sacrifice the body.
Yeah. And then the Sharks went up 3-0. Vegas scored a goal to end what seemed to be just pure dominance by San Jose. I love the San Jose Sharks roster.
You do?
Yeah. Like, my favorite player is Erik Karlsson. And he's fantastic. Evander Kane, also fantastic. My new hero is Pavelski. So Joe Pavelski, thank you for taking that shot off the face and in for a goal. But this is not what we saw from Vegas last season. This is vastly different.
Yeah, Vegas definitely lost a step. It looks like I wouldn't count them out just because, again, NHL playoffs. But